Hey y'all. I hope you're having the best day. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley Lynn, and on my channel I like to talk a little bit about true crime, conspiracy theories, and the paranormal. If you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button. If not, that's totally cool. Let's just hang out. Today I am going to talk to you guys about the missing Malaysia flight MH370. MH370 was a Boeing 777 aircraft that went missing mid-flight. There's a lot of conspiracies around what happened to the plane and a lot of unanswered questions. We were taking passengers from Malaysia to China. There's a lot of victims of the passengers, the family members, the friends who still don't have answers today. And I cannot imagine what it would be like for one of my family members or friends to just go missing on an airplane. It's so normal. People travel every day. You know, there's hundreds of flights every day and not have any answers. So I'm going to talk today about this because to me, it just, there are some things that just are like, did that really happen? And what really happened? You know, even today, we still don't have a whole lot of answers about it. So let's hop right in. Okay, so Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 was an international passenger flight. It disappeared on March 8th, 2014. The plane was departing from Kuala Lumpur Airport in Malaysia. Now, the plane was carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members. Now, these passengers were from different countries. You had some from the United States. Most of them were from China. You had some from Australia. You had some from Denmark. You had them from all over. So, it was just a normal flight, normal people. People excited, you know. There were a couple who were going on their honeymoon finally after years of being married. They couldn't do it because of life. You know, they had kids and things going on. So they were finally getting to take this honeymoon. Unfortunately, they never arrived. So the plane's destination was in Beijing, China, at Beijing Capital International Airport. The plane was supposed to land at 6:30 a.m. The plane's captain was Zaharia Ahmad Shah. He was 56. And he had a co-pilot. His name was Farg Abdul Hamid. He was 27. He actually was planning his wedding. He was getting ready to get married. In the midst of planning his wedding, he was actually marrying another pilot, which is so cute. I love that. I think that's so awesome, that they were two pilots who were going to get married, and you know, they were going to be able to share that career, that love that they both had for flying. Both pilots were seasoned. The co-pilot was not as seasoned as the pilot. The pilot had over 18,000 hours of flight time, and the co-pilot had over 2,000 hours of flight time. The plane first flew on May 14th, 2002. It had flown over 53,000 hours, and that's like over 7,000 flight cycles. A flight cycle is when a plane takes off and lands. That's one cycle. So it's a newer flight. It's a newer aircraft, but it had just passed inspection like 10 days before the plane took off. Everything looked great all around. It was a super reliable aircraft. It had only been in the air for 14 years. So overall pretty new. Most aircrafts, they do like 25 years of flying and then they're retired or considered retired. Okay, 12:41 a.m. the plane takes off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. At 1:21 a.m. the plane's radar transponder is turned off. The transponder is what communicates with air traffic control. So it's kind of like being in the air and having communications with the countries that you're in The air traffic control is your lifeline. You talk to people at the airport and they give you the okay to go forward or not or whatever. At 1:30 a.m., the Malaysian military radar began tracking the plane. But what's interesting is that the plane did a 180 turn, like coming back towards Malaysia, they were not like okay to do, like they were not told to do. So it was completely off course when it made that turn. At 2:22 a.m. is when the Malaysian military lost contact with the plane. Now, hours later, 6:30 a.m., the family members of the passengers, friends of the passengers, all arrived at the Beijing International Airport ready to greet their travelers. However, it didn't happen. They were told, the plane is delayed. Wait here, come back later. The plane is delayed. It's on its way. It's just delayed. I know. So they waited around, and, you know, I can imagine, like, the frustration and the not knowing. That's a really scary part of what happened. After, like, an hour, though, like, I would just get so upset because, like, where are they? Where could this plane be that it's taken this long to arrive? At 8 a.m., the Malaysian government finally made a statement to the public that communication had been lost with the plane that night and that they did not know where it was. On March 9th, a military operation had begun. On March 10th, the search went further into the South China Sea. The government, what's weird is that the government was coming out with late and conflicting information that did not make any sense. Now, it later comes out that they weren't as honest as they should have been because they did not want other countries to know the type of technology that they had, you know, war and all that. You know, it just kind of, they lost their leg up on other countries if they knew what they were capable of, you know. So that's still no reason, in my opinion, to not tell people the whole truth, especially when their family members are missing. I mean, on March 12th, 4 days after the plane had disappeared, the Malaysia military a little bit later came out and said that they had eyes on the plane as late as 3 a.m. So, now, when they were doing the search, the weather was awful. The terrain was awful. The South China Sea is a very, very big place. Bigger than I think we can even imagine. It's deep and it's isolated, and they really, really struggled with the search. On March 20th, the Malaysian government decided to reach out and ask other countries for help. It had been 12 days and nothing turned up. The other countries put their differences aside and decided to help. 26 countries overall helped with the search. Now, they found nothing. Now, May of 2015 was when the search stopped. On July 2015, a few fragments of the wing washed ashore on what's called Reunion Island. Now, Reunion Island is thousands of miles away from Kuala International Airport. The search resumed after the debris had washed ashore. I think they wanted to check around the area and make sure that it wasn't in the area that the debris was found. So the search resumed after they found the debris in 2015, but then they stopped it again in 2017 after finding nothing. Now, a total of $140 million was spent on this search. It was super expensive. But you can't put a price on finding the ones you love. So I think that any dime is well spent when it comes to finding the people that are missing. And I still think today they should still be looking. In 5 years, they had only found 3 pieces of one of the wings of the plane. The family members and of the passengers are still left today with no answers. They're missing their husbands, their fathers, their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. There were young children on the plane, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. The youngest passenger on the plane was 23 months old. And also during the time of the searches, the family was protesting at the airport. They were out there talking to media, protesting. They were trying to get their answers. Unfortunately, they just didn't have them. Now, there were also some things about this case that were a little strange to me. So I added them as side notes. The first one was that the final flight report was released on July 30th, 2018. They had determined that the crucial turn that was made had to be done manually. The investigators said that that was an initial manual turn. So somebody in the cockpit had to have done that turn. Also, Malaysia's aviation chief resigned after the report that had found that air traffic control did not comply with standard procedures. There were also delays and protocol violations that happened that were made before the search was launched. So somebody somewhere, everyone makes mistakes. I totally get it. Just something interesting to note outside of everything that we know. In July of 2016, it was noted that they actually may have been looking in the wrong area the entire time. So 2 Iranian men had boarded the plane with stolen passports and identities. Now, this is not part of the conspiracy. I mean, at first they also were like, that's weird. You know, who are these 2 men? But it was later found that they were just asylum seekers seeking refuge in a new country. One of the men's mothers was there to confirm that, and the Malaysian government, they came out with that early on. Okay, now let's get to the theories. The best part. Okay, one of the theories is that aliens snatched the plane from the sky. Now, sounds crazy, I know, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't a conspiracy theory. Another conspiracy theory is that the plane disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. Now, I know what the Bermuda Triangle is, and a lot of planes and ships do disappear off into that area. However, the Bermuda Triangle was on the opposite side of the world from where the plane was when it disappeared. So, it's not likely that that happened. It just is it's a common thing that when a plane or a ship goes missing, that people automatically kind of feel like, it's there. Most definitely. Another strange theory, another conspiracy theory is that the 2 Iranian men that boarded with fake passports were somehow terrorists and that they hijacked the plane. However, like I said prior, they were asylum seekers and were just looking for a way out and a new life somewhere else. So, another interesting theory is that the plane may have been shot down by another country like Russia. I'm not saying it did. I'm just saying that's one of the theories. All these theories are just theories. No one really knows what happened to the plane. And I just want to make this video so that we do not forget about Malaysia flight MH370. There are still, like I said, questions to be answered and travelers to grieve. And there have been vigils, beautiful vigils for the passengers that went missing, and I just don't want us to forget about this plane and the people on it. They were still somebody's loved one. And that's it for me today, guys. So, like I said, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Push that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.